Welcome back. It is the Flow Sports Hour on Flow FM. The Tour Down Under is coming to Adelaide very soon, but not just Adelaide. It's heading into the Barossa Valley and the Adelaide Hills and getting out to some of South Australia's beautiful scenic landscapes outside of the CBD as well. Ex-professional cyclist Annette Edmondson has raced the Santos Tour Down Under many times in the past herself. She's an Olympic medalist and a former world cycling champ, now in her second year in the role of assistant race director, working alongside another Aussie cycling great in Stuart O'Grady. And Annette is joining us on the show right now to tell us more about the Tour Down Under. Great to have you on the show, Annette. You must be getting very excited. We're not too far away from it now.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. And yes, we are. We're not very far away, just 3 weeks, and the riders are going to start filtering in over the next couple of weeks as well. So, yeah, it's strange that we came up with a race route earlier on in this year, and we've been working hard behind the scenes, but to know that it's just around the corner is so exciting.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you're beaming with excitement, and the whole city is certainly abuzz. And I can tell you firsthand, the last couple of weeks I have started to see a few pelotons out for early morning rides when I get up and make my way to our Roseworthy Flow FM studios. And yes, the city is certainly abuzz with it. Just before we get into a bit more about the tour, Annette, can you just tell us a bit more about yourself and your background in cycling and your involvement with the Tour Down Under?
Yeah, so I started cycling when I was 12. I came through a talent search program through the South Australian Sports Institute. So I was in a Adelaide Hills school and played all different types of sports. And it wasn't until the talent search program came to our school and did a series of tests. So height, weight, arm span, how high you can jump, how long you can run for, and all those sorts of things. And then they sent all the information off to the labs. And if you were lucky, you got a letter in the post saying that you should try a certain sport. And so I got cycling. So it was a really strange thing for me because I didn't really think of cycling as a professional sport. I always thought it was more of a recreational activity. But yeah, there was a few other kids from my school chosen for the program. So we went down to the velodrome down at Jeps Cross, and after a bit of come and try, we decided to give it a go. And yeah, I ended up being a professional cyclist for about 18 years. So I retired 2 years ago. I did a lot of track cycling. That was my main thing. But I also did road professionally for about 6 years. So the road, I was more of a road sprinter, which complemented the track riding quite well. Definitely wasn't good at the hills, but more of the sprinting type races. And yeah, was able to race as part of the Tour Down Under for a number of years. And it was always so special to see the professional peloton come all the way over to Adelaide and be able to show just how amazing our state is and our country is. And so, yeah, 2 years later, I'm now on the organising committee. So as you said earlier, Stuart O'Grady is the race director, and then Carly Taylor and I are the assistant race directors. So we're all local cyclists from Adelaide, and we know the roads like the back of our hands. So, yeah, now a part of that side of the fence.
All right, there you go. Quite an extensive background. And growing up and going to school in Adelaide myself, I have very fond memories of those sassy tests as well. But it's weird. My letter got lost in the mail. I'm still waiting for it to arrive to be talent identified. I never quite got the tap on the shoulder, probably because I was quite puny in about year 9 and year 10 when we were doing those tests. But anyway, I've moved on from that heartbreak and I'm doing other things now.
There's still time.
There's still time. Never too late to get into a new sport. And I've never given cycling much of a go, I must admit, besides a little bit of a casual ride around. I've never given the proper cycling a go, and it's probably going to stay that way. I don't think I've quite got the stamina for it.
Well, there's lots of activities involved in the Tour Down Under this year. We've got the Wollonga Hill climbs. You can challenge yourself, go for a 3-kilometre time trial, or you can race up the car park climb as well. So if you're thinking about having a crack and making a comeback, there's plenty of events to be involved in.
All right, very good. Plenty of, something for everyone by the sounds of things. And I'm sure there are going to be some highlights, but what else are you expecting to be your main highlights of this year's Tour Down Under?
Yeah, so my main role at the Tour Down Under is the women's race. So I'm involved to try and help elevate the ladies and increase the talent and the teams coming out for the race this year. So we're very excited to announce that we've got a 30% increase on the number of World Tour teams coming down for the women's race. So there's a ranking in in teams, and the Women's World Tour is the highest status, and we're very excited to become a Women's World Tour event this year for the first time. So that means that we're now equal to the men's status, and so then there are World Tour women's teams. So last year we had 6 teams coming out. This year we've got 9 lining up, and then also the level below, which is UCI continental teams. We've got a lot higher standard and quality of teams coming out. So we're excited to have more depth and more talent coming out and racing our race. So that's a very big highlight for me. We also have recently announced that we've got a superstar, Julian Alaphilippe, coming down to race our event. So he's won 6 stages of the Tour de France, and he's 2-time world champion, and his first race as a World Tour rider was the Tour Down Under back in 2014. So we're excited to see the talent that he brings. We also have a very exciting finale for our women's race. So it's a three-day event. We've got our own weekends for the ladies. So we'll be on from the 10th till the 12th of January, and we will be finishing up Wollonga Hill for the first time ever as an international event. So that's always been spectacular for the men, and it's always proved to be a really brilliant finale. So now we've brought that in for the ladies. So we're keen to see who comes out on top. And then finally, I know I can keep talking forever, but with the men's as well, we've also got Stewie's come up with the most challenging course in event history. So on the Saturday they do Wollonga Hill, and then on the Sunday they do some circuits around Mount Lofty. So that's really going to test the riders, and it's going to provide for some really exciting racing.
All right, very good. Well, Stuart O'Grady clearly just testing the riders to see if anyone's on the very high level that he achieved when he was more intently riding. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening there. And from your conversations with all the women who will be racing in the event, I'm sure all those updates, there's just a lot of excitement around the female side of the event from the riders.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, we've continually to improve conditions and races and the courses for the ladies, and we provide some pretty phenomenal world-class facilities for them. So as soon as they arrive in Adelaide, they're in the Hilton, which is a hotel based in the heart of Adelaide, and we treat them the same as the men as soon as they touch down. And there's a tour event village that's right in front of the Hilton, so all the riders can be stationed there. They can get their bikes set up for their bike rides. They're there all week, so it's a lot easier for all the staff and all the riders that they don't have to keep upping and going and moving from place to place as traditional other tours. You see in Europe, for example, like the Tour de France, they're in one place and then they move to the next hotel and then to the next one. So it's quite tiring. So we know that this is a favourite for our riders, being based in the one spot. And the cool thing about the tour village is it's brilliant for spectators. So spectators and fans can come down. There's food, beverages, there's ice cream, there's music, there's lots of events in the evening, talking tour, and you can also check out the team village. So you can go and be up close and personal with some of the athletes as they come in and out and see what the mechanics do behind the scenes. So yeah, it's a really cool event.
Certainly is. There's lots going on in Metro Adelaide there, but it's great to see the tour as well getting a little bit out of Metro Adelaide and getting into Tanunda, not too far from the Flow FM studios, and we're certainly very excited for that stage, but also Murray Bridge and deep into the Adelaide Hills and down the south coast sort of towards Wollonga and surrounding regions. What's it like in those areas out of Adelaide when all the cyclists are in town and the race is on and happening? Do you find that the public in those areas are just captivated and the local economies are buzzing with everyone flocking in and out of the cafes and the bakeries?
Yeah, it's so nice to see our country towns getting amongst the action and enjoying seeing this race come to them. And we often see on the live stream just how many people are lining the roads, and yeah, we just have so much to offer in this state. So it's really special that we can come up with a course that can take these riders around these locations just to see just what we have to offer. And obviously it was really important for us to feature Murray Bridge and the beautiful Murray River region in our race routes, just to highlight that ongoing flood recovery and obviously show off the beautiful region to the world. We also, as you mentioned before, where we do have a stage that laps around Tanunda. That's always a highlight. checking out all the winery regions, and we head south and along the beautiful coast. So yeah, it's just we just have so much to offer, and it's so nice to show this to the rest of the world.
Certainly do. The stereotype that Adelaide is boring is flagrantly false, in my opinion, because you only have to travel about 20 to 30 minutes out of the city to find all of those gems on top of everything that's going on in the city. So it's going to be sensational to have the race getting into all those regions as well. Annette, just before we wrap things up, what's the best place for people to go to learn more about the tour and see everything that's going on over the course of the tour and find out where they can go to watch various stages?
Yeah, I think the best place would be to check out the website, so tourdownunder.com.au. We also have Instagram and Facebook accounts at Tour Down Under, so they're always putting out the latest news. And like I said earlier, like I touched on earlier, there's so much for everyone as well. So we've got group rides leaving from the tour village every day. We've got our first ever gravel event, so gravel is taking the world by storm. So that's run by Valtteri Bottas. So if you want to meet him, there's an event in town for that, and it's based down south in McLaren Vale. We also have the hill climb. So down at Wollonga, you can test your legs 3 kilometres, see if you can beat Ritchie Port. And then, of course, I mentioned before, we have an amazing car park climb where you go head-to-head, battle it out with other people. So, and then there's family events, there's the whole lot. So there's like Unley Gala, there's ice cream festivals in Glenelg. So there's so much to see and do. So make sure you do head to that website and see what's on offer.
Fantastic. I better cut you off, Annette, because otherwise I fear you might go on forever because there's so much exciting stuff to talk about.
Exactly. I can't fit it all in.
No, there is far too much excitement. That's why we will have to check in again in the new year after the race is done and get a big comprehensive review of how everything went. It's going to be a sensational event. Always a highlight on the South Australian sporting calendar is the Tour Down Under. Annette, thank you very much for your time today and giving us all of that info. All the best for you for the new year when the tour begins. And yes, I look forward to checking in with you again soon.
Thank you so much, and thanks so much for your support of our race. We really do appreciate it.